The US government is promoting an app that lets immigrants deport themselves. The feature is controversial and it's also a privacy nightmare. Is laser technology the solution to providing internet access to the world's most remote places? And the global AI race. Why countries had better catch up to the US soon. Here's what you need to know. The US is using an app for a tough new move on undocumented immigrants. It is estimated that there are nearly 12 million of them in the country. That's a huge number. And under Trump, they are facing a hard crackdown. Now, there's an app designed to make them leave voluntarily. Wait, what? Let's break it down. From immigration to deportation. Trump's government has turned an app designed to help immigrants enter the US into an app to help them leave. The CBP-1 app started under former US President Biden's administration. Back then, it helped migrants enter the US legally. People could submit passport info, face scans, and other personal details. They could also book appointments at border checkpoints. Trump blocked it right after returning to office. Now, the app is rebranded as CBP Home. Trump's team has added a new feature, intent to depart. This feature encourages undocumented immigrants, those who crossed illegally or overstayed their visas, to leave the US on their own. Trump himself promoted the app in a video on social media. CBP Home is part of the wider campaign warning immigrants to leave now. They are even running ads internationally to urge people not to come to the US. Here's how the app works. You submit your intent to leave along with biographical data and a photo. You answer additional questions like whether you have enough money to depart and a valid passport from your country of citizenship. Once you're out, you verify your departure. It's not quite clear how this will work yet, possibly through airline data or even location data from the app itself. Trump's team says the measure will prevent harsher ones like forced deportation by ICE. Those who self-deport might be able to return legally, says the Secretary of Homeland Security. But will people really get that chance? That's uncertain. It is also unclear whether undocumented immigrants will have enough faith in the administration to use the app's intent to depart feature. Could the information they provide be used against them if they want to return to the US? Fact is, the whole process raises massive privacy concerns. The app collects all kinds of data. It isn't just tracking people who choose to leave. It has already collected massive amounts of data from the people who entered the US through the original CBP-1 app. That includes passport scans, face scans, location data, family status, and more. Privacy experts are worried. This data could be used for mass surveillance, to track movements, to spy on people. And there's already a troubling example. ICE recently arrested and detained Mahmoud Khalil for his involvement in pro-Palestinian student protests at Columbia University. The Trump administration sees his actions as being pro-Hamas. The State Department has a program called Catch and Revoke. It uses AI to scan social media accounts of visa-holding students. If they are seen at a protest, their visas can be revoked, leading to deportation. Private data gathered through an app like CBP Home could supercharge these efforts. Keep in mind, everything you share online or through an app can be stored and potentially used to identify and track you. So stay informed and stay aware. Affordable high-speed internet for rural or hard-to-reach areas via laser beam. That's what Tara promises. The project started as an experiment by Google's parent company, Alphabet. But now, Tara is becoming an independent enterprise. Some see the tech rivaling Elon Musk's satellite internet company Starlink when it comes to connecting rural areas. Internet via laser, how does that work? And what's in it for you? Simply put, laser connectivity works similarly to fiber optic cables. Normally, data is transmitted through the cables traveling from a server to an internet provider. From there, the data reaches users either via more cables or through cellular towers. Instead of cables, Tara uses very narrow laser beams, about as thick as a pencil. They are sent via so-called light bridges, terminals the size of a traffic light. By the way, this isn't actually what it looks like, this is just easier to visualize. The devices use small mirrors to precisely adjust the beam of light. According to Tara, this technology can bridge up to 20 kilometers, reaching speeds of up to 20 20 gigabits per second. To cover 100 kilometers, for example, you'd need 6 towers with light bridges. Internet via laser is not new. Tara is the direct successor of another Google X project, Loon. Until 2021, researchers tried to provide internet to remote areas using fleets of high-altitude balloons interconnected by laser beams. The balloon concept was discontinued, but the laser technology was further developed and is now being used in the Tara project. Alright, but why do we need that? In 2024, an estimated 2.6 billion people had no access to the internet. That's about 1/3 of the world's population. One main reason, internet providers don't want to spend a lot of money on infrastructure to reach remote areas. Now, without having to lay or install kilometers of fiber cables, Tara offers a cheaper alternative. One example. In 2023, an undersea cable network connecting several Caribbean islands was damaged. An internet provider used Tara's technology to link the island of Anguilla with nearby St. Martin, 18 kilometers away. This reconnected 11,500 people in Anguilla to the internet. Another use case. Tara can amplify connectivity at big events. It was already successfully tested at the famous Coachella Festival in the US. By the way, Elon Musk's enterprise Starlink also offers laser internet, but via interconnected satellites, whose signals can be received on Earth with special antennas. How do the two systems compare? Tara has one big advantage. It's much cheaper than Starlink. Starlink has also faced criticism over space junk. Right now, there are more than 7,000 Starlink satellites in orbit, potentially posing a threat to space travel. Another issue is bandwidth and speed. When Starlink satellites serve densely populated areas, the internet connection can slow down. Tara claims to provide much greater bandwidth than Starlink. How valid that statement is remains to be seen. However, it takes some time to install Tara connections over longer distances. Starlink satellites already cover large parts of the Earth. And Tara doesn't work everywhere. The laser beams can be disturbed by fog, for example, making it unsuitable for a city like San Francisco. Tara's developers say they have technology that can compensate for short interruptions like passing birds, but they acknowledge they can't operate perfectly everywhere. A coverage map has been released. Red means conditions are good. But there's another catch concerning both systems. For now, Google only holds a minority stake in Tara, but the company remains crucial as Tara expands. And Starlink is owned by one of the richest guys in the world. Elon Musk's company is for now unrivaled. Relying on big tech for internet connectivity could have long-term downsides. If one provider gains a monopoly, service quality could decline while prices go up. How's connectivity where you live? In case you need better connection, which system would you rather use? Let us know. Want to know where the big money is going? Billions are being poured into AI as tech giants and countries compete for dominance. Apple wants to invest $500 billion in the US over the next 4 years. That's about 475 billion euros. The focus? AI infrastructure. They want to open a huge AI server factory in Texas and expand data centers in other states. This news comes just weeks after a $500 billion effort was announced to build new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in the United States. And Google, Meta, Amazon and Microsoft are also investing billions into AI. One thing is clear. US companies are all in on AI, and they are racing to stay ahead of the world. But what does that mean for people elsewhere? Do we need our own AI? After all, ChatGPT speaks many languages, as do Google's Gemini and Microsoft's Copilot. So why would we need a specific chatbot for each language? Generative text AIs like these chatbots are based on large language models. They learn patterns from huge amounts of text. That's how AI understands what words and phrases mean. While the LLMs are created in English, they are also trained in other languages. In many cases, they don't even have to translate inputs and answers. But sometimes translation is necessary, like when there's not enough information in a language other than English. And that can lead to inaccurate results. Plus, datasets built in the US may ignore cultural differences and social norms in other parts of the world. Bottom line, They just don't work as well in languages other than English. That's why there are initiatives worldwide to create smaller models for specific regions. French AI startup Mistral, for example, has recently released a model that focuses on Arabic language and culture. Regional AI models could help preserve local cultures and traditions and even endangered dialects. But does every region need their own AI infrastructure? Why build our own infrastructure when Google, Microsoft and others offer AI services at a good price via the cloud? Across the globe, businesses of all sizes are turning to AI to automate processes, gain insights from data and improve customer experiences. Most don't develop AI themselves. They buy AI services elsewhere. Why? AI requires specialized data centers to process massive amounts of information. These centers run on high-efficiency chips that consume far more energy than standard ones. And because they heat up quickly, even more power is needed to keep them cool. That's why additional power plants might be needed soon. Apart from that, you need additional technology to offer your services in the cloud. That's why for most businesses, even countries worldwide, it would be very difficult to set up their own AI from scratch. So what's the problem with using the service of US companies? The global market for AI is estimated to reach more than $800 billion in 2030, with the largest chunk of that going to US companies. Countries that rely heavily on US technology could become dependent. They would risk their technological sovereignty and ability to innovate. Apart from that, access to AI technology could become unfair. Wealthier countries and companies would most probably have an advantage. This could further widen the digital divide between regions and social groups. Some experts are critical of all the big spending on AI. They say that expectations are overhyped. And there's new technology on the rise. Decentralized AI systems could challenge big tech's AI dominance. They use the blockchain and combine computing power of devices that are linked to them. This way, they are open to everyone, and the hope is they will only be regulated to a small degree. What do you think? Will we become even more dependent on US technology in the age of AI? Let us know in the comments. That's all from me today. Bye and see you next time.